So it's 15:05. Let Department of Mechanical Engineering. I, Mohammad Arif, Associate Dean Student Welfare, welcomes you on fifth webinar of 1 week webinar series. Our topic of discussion is additive manufacturing, and our guest is Dr. Rahul Sarup Sharma sir, who is professor at Dayalbagh Educational Institute, Dayalbagh, Agra. So let me introduce Dr. Rahul Sarup Sharma first. He is professor at Dayalbagh Educational Institute, Dayalbagh, Agra, and a visiting scholar at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, Albany, New York area. His area of research are additive manufacturing and severe plastic deformation. His research interests are Jugaad innovation of 3D printer, Bharatiya Swadeshi 3D printing technology, social product development, developing educational simulation models, and virtual labs. He has published more than 50 international papers. He has received 1 patent, many more to come. He has reviewed and authored 4 books and many more to come. He has received many honors and awards. Some are listed here. You can see he developed a metal forming virtual simulation lab at Dayalbagh, which can be accessed by anyone through internet. And he has also developed a low-cost Bharatiya Swadeshi 3D printer at BEI. A step towards Bharat makes the next era of growth. So now I am making host to Dr. Rahul Sarup Sharma sir. So he can deliver his talk. Rahul sir, you are the host now. You can share your screen and start your presentation. I request you.
Thank you, Dr. R.A. Dr. R.P. Sinha, Anand Engineering College, for organizing such a wonderful webinar, that to a 1 week long. So as already mentioned by Mr. R.A., today's webinar is on additive manufacturing. So let me start with basic definition. Given by ASTM. The process of joining materials to make desired shape objects from 3D CAD model data, usually layer upon layer, as opposed to subtractive manufacturing methodologies such as traditional machining. So there are few keywords in this definition. First one is materials. Second is joining of material. Third is why we are joining. It is for getting a desired shape. And how we get a desired shape? We get it from a 3D CAD model And the mechanism of adding this desired shape is by layer upon layer, as opposed to subtractive manufacturing. So in normal manufacturing, you see, in machining, what you do, you take a oversized job which is being cut into a shape. So this is the reason it is known as subtractive manufacturing. So this additive manufacturing is also known by different terms, different names. They are on the screen. It is also known by additive fabrication. It is also known by layer manufacturing, solid free form fabrication, rapid manufacturing, stereolithography, direct digital manufacturing. On the left side of the screen, you can see, so most two important technical words by which this process is known as, that is additive manufacturing, or vice versa, it is also known by 3D printing. So I have shown you a Google Hits of particular 1 month only. I have taken this data in the month of April. So for additive manufacturing, in the Google Hits were 11.7 millions. And for 3D printing, it was 255 millions. So you can see the what 3D printing is more popular than additive manufacturing, because additive manufacturing is a formal term which is generally used by scientific community, and 3D printing has become a de facto standard among common people. But the idea is both are same. Now here you can see few images. This is my way of defining 3D printing. So 3D printing can be compared to a icing of a cake. So if you understood this process, you can see a chef is there, and chef is trained, and she has a design in her mind. Apart from that, in terms of hardware, they have got cone. That cone is filled with material, and at the end of the cone there is an orifice, a very small hole, through which material is extruded. Extrusion takes place. So the movement of the cone takes place with the shoulder, and the shoulder is controlled by your mind. And there is no any other thing. So just by those movements only, you can see how many different complex shapes are available. And they all are 3D in nature. Answer. They all are 3D in nature. Yes, you can see the flowers are there. So this is also 3D printing, because whatever you are making on the cake They all are 3D printing. Extrusion is taking place, layer by layer manufacturing is taking place. So here we can compare exactly three D printing. You can see chef, the brain is controlling the design in the case of chef, and other hardware is human hardware, those hands. But in the case of 3D printer, the design is controlled by a computer on the right side screen, you can see, and there is a machine by which you provide motion in X, Y, and Z directions. And a material is coming, and the device that is known as extruder, by which the material gets deposited. And that extruder has got a very small nozzle. Here also, I define my 3D printing as it is inspired by nature. Why it is inspired by nature? The reason is, as on the first slide I defined you, it is a layer manufacturing. It is not subtractive, it is layer manufacturing. So in nature, whatever we produce, it is in layers. Examples are here. You can see cauliflower, rose, banana, maize, sugarcane, you name any, pomegranates. You can see the final product is being obtained by layer development. So it is a layer manufacturing. So it is a nature, we don't have any control. So what we can say that 3D printing is inspired by nature. Even you can see the wood, the section of a wood is shown here, and it is very clear. You can see how wood is being developed. So the answer is wood is developed in layers. One more important property of 3D printing is that you don't go for assembly. No assembly is required, like human beings. Humans are produced in one part, and every part has got different functions. So this is known as functional printing. Like you can see this Muda is here. So Muda is a, that stool is there, bamboo stool. So the bamboo stool, the purpose is sitting for loading purpose. It can sustain load. On the right hand side, you can see a eagle. So eagle, the wings are have got different functions. Eyes have got different function. Beak has got different functions. So, but they are not assembled. Idea is they are not assembled. You are getting a one product. So from 3D printing also you can get a one product. No assembly is required. For example, now you want to manufacture a bearing. So manufacturing of bearing in a conventional manufacturing requires many steps. You have to produce outer rings, you have to produce inner rings, you have to produce balls separately. Then you have to assemble them, outer rings, inner rings, and balls. Then you obtain a bearing. But if you make a bearing by additive manufacturing, you can get a bearing in one way. Next is, as we compare with conventional manufacturing. Conventional manufacturing is subtractive in nature and there is a lot of waste involved. You can see the chips are here. Chips are here. But in additive manufacturing, there is no any waste because it is a layer manufacturing. So we can say all these characteristics are because nature never does nature uses always additive manufacturing. Since 3D printing also uses additive manufacturing, it takes us close to the nature. So what is the principle of 3D printing? So the principle of 3D printing is divide and build. Again, I repeat, divide and build. Divide is means you're slicing the design. Like you want to make any shape, so you have made a CAD model of that. Then you slice it in very thin layers. That you can do in CAD file, no problem. That process is slicing. If those slices are again put one above the other, you can get a final product. As shown it over here. The principle of 3D making products by 3D printing is divide and build. Divide is slicing and build is manufacturing. So just read out here. So AM is an automatic process of manufacturing objects, parts, prototypes, tools, and even assemblies directly from their CAD models without any cutters, tools, or fixtures specific to the object geometry. This is also 3D printing. These candies you have seen, maybe seen in the market. See, it is also 3D printing. So the idea is 3D printing is existing from a long time. Analogy with 3D printing. So these three presses are shown to you. So they are for 2D printing. Whatever you print on papers, they are 2D printing. They are 2D, two dimension in nature. They don't have volume. And this is a 3D printer. On the left, we have got a 2D printer. On the right, we have got 3D printer. So there's a very important term that I want to tell you. That is term is known as disruptive technology. So what is disruptive technology? Very important. Try to understand. Disruptive technologies defeat the purpose for which they are introduced. But we do not regret the disruption as they compensate for the loss in unimaginable ways. Just take an example of mobile phones or cellular technology. So that mobile phones are considered as a disruptive technology. Why they are considered as disruptive technology? Because mobile phones were invented for the purpose of communication only, where two peoples can talk. But in the present time, that particular purpose is serving very limited, that is communication. Now that mobile phone is serving many purposes, many purposes, and it has become a mandatory. For Aadhaar, it is being used. For bank ATMs, it is being used. For making payments, it is being used. For video conferencing, it is used. And the most important is it is used for e-commerce platform. So just see the purpose for which it was invented. That purpose has been we are very limited, and other new purposes have come out. So that is known as disruptive technology. The same is 3D printing is also considered as a disruptive technology because 3D printing was invented for developing prototypes for models. But in present time, you can make final products, you can make biological products, you can make any parts. So that is the purpose of 3D printing right now. So why we, because everywhere you can see automation is very important thing in all companies. Everywhere we require automatic things, automation. Even now we don't keep a record in our mind for mobile numbers also. Automatic system. Sometimes even in your mobile phones also you don't want to type the number. Even you don't want to search the number. You just want a system where you can by speech only you can call, make a call. So that is known as automation. So 3D printing is also a one-stop solution for automation. You don't require anything other. If you have a 3D printer, everything is there. It is a fully automated system. I'll go. So just read out this. So what we say, one generation, one technology comes. So the present generation is 3D printing, and it is also considered as the industrial revolution. So Xerox company, everyone has heard about this. So Xerox company was responsible for making laser 2D printers popular. And I just want to compare the cost of 3D printing because when the laser printers were introduced in 1971, they were costing around $17,000 per printer. And now you can see every house has got a printer of rupees 6,000 only. So the how the cost has gone down. So same thing is that at present the 3D printers may be very costly, but we can definitely think about that soon the prices are going to get down. So historical development I am skipping. So we'll come here. What are the different steps for 3D printing? What are the different steps for 3D printing? So first and foremost, you must have a CAD file. That CAD file has to be converted into a stereolithographic format. STL format is basically what your entire volume is divided into triangles. Your images are converted into a small triangles. This is required because now we have to slice it. We have to slice it. Slicing is required for layer manufacturing. Then this file is transferred to a machine. Machine is being set up. Setup means you have to give different temperature settings, material settings, layer settings. Then building takes place. Once it is being printed, then post processing is required. Post processing means finishing, some kind of finishing. Then application you can tell. So these are the main 7 steps or 6 steps for 3D printing. So there is one more important thing in 3D printing. We require a support structure. Like for making any building, you can see for making any building, we require a support structure. And once the building is erected, that those supports are removed. So same thing is in 3D printing also. For some hanging type of designs, we will be requiring a like this gusset is to be printed, or some this kind of thing is to print it. So we will be requiring what? We will be requiring a support material. So these are few examples where we will be requiring support material. Like in this case, we will be requiring support material this much. Here it is shown. Support structure is shown here. Like if you want to print this, so this is like a cantilever hanging. So you will be requiring a support material. In all these cases, you will be requiring support material. In these also, you will be requiring support material. Now we are coming to what are the benefits of additive manufacturing. So there is a saying for 3D printing that imagination is the limit of 3D printing. Or we can say limit of 3D printing is whatever you can imagine, the machine can. Whatever you want to print, you should be able to imagine it. If you are able to imagine it, you have to make a CAD file. So complex shapes can be made. If you go into conventional manufacturing, you will be requiring tools, you will be requiring machines, you will be requiring jigs and fixtures. Then you will be requiring a most important is skilled manpower or skilled operator. Then only you can make complex shape. Even if you are making complex shape, there will be a lot of material waste. Like just see the ball that I have shown you, buckyball. So it's very difficult to make this buckyball in conventional manufacturing. But you can do it very easily without any restrictions in 3D printing. So first benefit is shape complexity. Second benefit is material complexity. You can use any materials, multiple materials. Your 3D printer should allow that. Functional complexity, as I discussed in the beginning, that functional part means one piece products can be obtained. Functional means once they are printed, they are coming out of the printer, they are used directly as a function, like bearing. turbine blades. Mass customization is possible. For example, dentures can be printed for dentists. Bones can be printed. Plates can be printed for surgery. No assembly is required. Zero lead time. Zero skill manufacturing. Compact, portable manufacturing. Less waste. Infinite shades of material. Precise application. Simultaneous multiple parts production. Lower energy intensity. And most important is democratization of production. Please go through this, I'll tell you. So what is democratization manufacturing means? You are giving power to the operator. You are giving power to the operator. Means democracy in production. Anyone can print. He has to just press the button and the production is taking place. That is democratization of production, or so we can say end of monopoly. Means you are not depending on any workforce or any operator. So there are few disadvantages also. The most biggest disadvantage is intellectual property use, because now you can copy it and through reverse engineering you can get any product. Limitation of size is it. At present, cost of printer is the issue. Accuracy is sometimes compromised. For that, you require always some kind of calibration of machine. Support material removal and material properties. So these are few complex geometries that are being depicted here. They all are 3D printed. These are turbine blades. Very difficult to manufacture by conventional thing. There's a lot of scrap because you have to get always accurate size. Now I will request Mr. Arif to kindly get questions from the audience. I'll be happy to answer the questions. Mr. Arif, you can open the floor.
Now you can hear me, sir.
Yes, I can hear
So
you.
now I'm unmuting everyone. They can ask questions.
One by one you can take.
Let's ask one by one.
अरे क्वेश्चंस तुम चैट पे मांग लो, चैट से क्वेश्चन का आंसर कर दो, करवा लो.
हेलो.
Sir, you can we can hear you. Mukul Shukla sir, we can hear you.
Yeah, excellent presentation, Dr. Sharma. I was just talking on that slide of yours on democratization of production. Can you just elaborate maybe a few more minutes?
Rahul sir, you have to unmute yourself also.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes, so Rahul sir, I requested him to just share few more advantages.
Rahul sir, you may be muted.
Yeah, we
Sir,
can't.
can you take one more question, sir, along with
Yes,
this?
yes, yes. Thank you
Yes,
very
yes.
much. Thank you. Let me answer. Sir, just think about drilling machine, lathe machine, or any machine. So you require a operator, an operator of that machine only. Then you require tools for that machine only. You require lot of hardware for that machine only. At the end, you can do only one job. From drilling, you can get only holes. From lathe, you can generate only surfaces. But this is the machine where is a full democracy, means you don't require any staff, any operator. You must have a design. You feed that design, just press the button, and you get output. So that is democracy of production. It is not depending on any of the factors.
All right. Yeah, yeah, I liked.
If
I liked it. You know, the phrase I liked. I must compliment. Great, great. Fine. Thank you.
Hello,
yes,
sir. One more question I am having.
Yes, you can
Hello,
ask.
sir. I am asking that if there is some relative motion between parts like bearing, ball bearing, is there any difficulty in producing that using 3D printing
not
technology?
at all, sir. Not at all. If you are making a good design, not
Sir,
at all, because you will leave that design in your CAD file also, and the printer will print as per design.
but there is a relative motion between the parts, so I think there must be some assembly. First, we have to produce the balls and then outer part and inner part like that. Assembly may be required.
Not at all, sir. Not at all, sir. We have printed number of bearings in our lab.
Sir, sir,
So try to understand.
sir.
First, tell
Okay,
me,
okay.
can you make a CAD model of bearing?
Sir, I'm not that much expert in CAD.
No, you are not
Just
expert.
it is.
I am just asking any student for whether it can be made in a CAD or not.
Yes, sir, yes,
Yes, yes.
it can.
Drawing,
Yes, it can
it
be.
can be made on drawing sheet. If it can be made on drawing sheet, it can be made on a CAD also.
Sir,
And on CAD, you can even show the animation also that it is moving.
sir,
So means
definitely,
CAD model is developed as per design with as per size. Then only
sir,
the movement will be possible in the CAD file.
sir,
So whatever distances are there, whatever size is being there, in same amount the material will be deposited layer by layer here in
sir.
3D printer. At the end of the finish of the product, all three things will be together and it will be working like a one part.
Okay, okay, sir.
I have one question.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
There will be always an issue regarding the surface finish in 3D printing in case of bearing.
What's up, please repeat.
There is always a issue of surface finish in case of 3D printing like bearing. Because if
Yes,
there
sir,
is
yes, sir. Yes, sir, that I mentioned you in the steps also. You require post processing. You require post processing means whatever you are 3D printing it, you will be requiring a post processing, means some kind of finishing operation will be have to be done.
and that
But
means
try
there
to
will
understand. But sir, try to understand the benefit of this. For bearing, you require a one huge industry to make bearing.
yeah.
But in this case, you don't require that huge industry.
Yeah.
You require very big forging presses. You require very big
Yes,
ball millings.
that I
But
understand.
in
All
this
the
case,
facilities are available, but till some limitations are there on this particular ground.
yes, sir, it is come. The field is coming up.
Yeah,
Field is
yeah.
coming up. Yes.
That is true. Thank you.
Products that have been 3D printing technology. Hello.
Please ask, continue.
Sir, can you show some more products, real products that have been made using this technology? Images, if you are having in your system.
Yes, I can show you. I can show you.
Sir.
Yes, I'll show you. See, these parts are printed by us in the lab. You can see. The other bevel gear is there.
Sir.
Venturi meter is there. Motor cage, diamond model, and this bearing guide. You can see. This is epicyclic gear train. See,
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
this is in one part. This is
Right,
dual gear bearing. You can see.
sir.
This is radial turbine. So just see the beauty of this process. Like if you want to give this particular angle, so
Ji.
how you are going to give this angle? In casting also, there's a lot of scrap rate is there, high scrap rate is there to achieve this accurate angles.
Right, sir.
Like in this case, it is fully movable assembly. This assembly is fully movable. Yes. Any other question? Okay, RFG, you may conclude.
Yes, yes, okay. So, thank you so much. We have joined Dr. R.P. Sinha sir, who missed the inaugural part of the this beautiful presentation. I request Dr. R.P. Sinha sir, please say few words.
Yes, hello. Good afternoon to everyone.
Sir, your voice is very low. Though it is clear, but it is very low.
What can I do? This is the connectivity problem. Initially, I was not getting connected. Mobile. Now, is it coming?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, good afternoon to everyone. Whatever I could visualize the presentation, I found that it was very informative, and the picturization of the presentation was very nice. As it is, as Dr. Sharma has already told that the benefits of the 3D printer. So he has presented the benefits of the 3D printer by printing in the 2D. That is the benefits we got it. So I am very much thankful to him. He's accepting his and he has given the time to deliver such a nice lecture or expertise. His expertise, I have seen many times his lab. Really, it's a very nice. A lot of product he could made it. So over and above, it was a nice, informative, and well defined, structured presentation. I personally thank on the behalf of department and the Anand Engineering College to Dr. Sharma, who has delivered his expertise on an idea and thought on this process. A lot of a scope is there in present scenario, because the most of the biggest benefit is the customization. it can be customized. What we need, what the concept a customer has, they can put their concept and the product can be produced. So again, once again, I thank you to everyone, whoever participated in this event, and the speaker and the organizer, Mr. Arif. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Now I put a slide on a screen. This is the information for next session. There was a basics of chilled water air conditioning system, which is supported by Agra subchapter of Indian Society of Heating, Refrigerating and Air Conditioning Engineers. The timing is rescheduled. Initially it was 11:30 a.m. Now it will be on 3:30 p.m. So please note down
Okay,
the
okay, sir.
timing. It will
Okay,
be
sir.
3:30 p.m.
Okay, okay, sir.
So now I would like to thank you, Dr. R.P. Sinha sir and Dr. Rahul Sarup Sharma sir, who delivered this beautiful presentation. And I also thankful to all the participants who joined and make it a great success. Thank you so much. This is time for signing off. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Arif,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Arif, sir.
Thank you, Arif sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.